Well, let's get some more. Joining us in the Situation Room, Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger of Illinois. He served in the U.S. Air Force in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Congressman, thanks very much for joining us. Where do you stand on this? Should they renew the Patriot Act, do something else? How concerned are you?
Well, look, I think it absolutely should be renewed.
The whole thing?
I think the whole thing. I voted for the USA Freedom Act in the House, which basically ends the bulk collecting and goes to the phone companies. That's a fine backup. At the end of the day, though, we cannot leave ourselves unprotected. And I think it's very obvious Senator Paul is posturing. I think he really believes some of this stuff, but he's trying to get his pointer as he's running for president. And keep in mind, at the very beginning, when he was a senator, he put out his own kind of budget blueprint for himself, where he slashed the United States military significantly. So he's tried to remake himself later by saying, let's hire 1,000 new FBI agents, or, I'm actually for building the military, but his knee-jerk reaction is isolationism.
But if it's left into the hands of Verizon or AT&T, the phone companies, how long do they have to keep all that data?
Well, they have to keep it for a certain amount of time. I don't know the exact length on
because
that, but
it's
I can tell you.
unclear right now. Right. Angus King, the independent senator from Maine, says he's worried about that aspect that's not necessarily spelled out in detail in what the House of Representatives passed pretty overwhelmingly.
Yeah, and that's will probably go to conference and be hashed out in detail. But, look, I think we have to be careful, too. If we give this to the phone companies, make sure that they have the ability to actually do this. I know there's been some questions about, do they have the ability to actually collect and store this information, and how can the government bridge to it? So I think we need to be very careful before saying, look, just let this expire and move on, because we never know what we're catching and what we may be missing.
Well, some of the stuff has already expired because of the midnight deadline from last night. So here's the question. Are Americans less safe right now because some aspects of this are no longer being used, or do they have some sort of plan B in business right now to make sure that they're not unsafe, that the American public is still secure?
Well, look, I know, the people that try to defend America are working their tail off every day to do that. I do think at this moment in time, we are less safe without this data collection. We've talked to intelligence experts all over that say this is a piece of the overall intelligence gathering puzzle that we use to defend the United States of America. So I think the Senate's going to do the right thing and put something back in place, but I have no doubt that today we are less safe.
So on this issue, and this issue is an important issue, you and Senator Rand Paul totally disagree.
Yeah, this and many other issues.
Sure. All right, we'll talk about some other issues as well. We'll take a quick break, much more with Congressman Adam Kinzinger when we come back.